Welcome back to the Fast Break. Friends, it is Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. And thank you guys for tuning in. Got a great pod for you. Gonna recap everything that happened at the NBA All-Star game and weekend. Went a little bit better than I think the NBA thought it would. As long as you didn't watch the dunk contest. And gonna talk a little bit about Pistons-Hornets and their skirmish, and what it looks like for both those teams going forward. And then Chris Paul, point guard, retired. So we're going to talk a little bit about him too, and then maybe Tatum coming back from his injury if we got time as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, of course, joined by the tantalizing Todd Ackroyd. Todd, how are you doing today? How's it been getting a little bit of a break from the NBA action this last week?
Good. Just honestly kind of sad that that the games haven't been on with no football now. It takes that post-football depression
Mhm.
to a higher level, that's for sure. But excited to get back into it. And yeah, the All-Star game was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, I'm sure you loved taking your mind off of football after that little beat down we gave you, but we won't have to go into it on this pod. We already I was up there for the parade on Wednesday, and me and Todd hashed out everything you probably could have possibly talked about the game and everything going forward over one and maybe two beers, and that was it. Um, but yeah, it is kind of interesting. Do you think they should move it so that they have like a full week and a half of games before they do their All-Star break? Because it is a little bit weird. Like you should be wanting to capitalize off it. But maybe that is the point, is like All-Star weekend. It should be a good attraction for the league. It should be a weekend and night to celebrate the league and lift it up. It's been down, obviously, in recent years, but this one I think was good. Obviously, the numbers they came out with, it was the most watched one, I think, since 2011. So that's pretty significant. That's a good job by the league. I don't know if that is because of just promotion and stuff like that, or if it's because the game was actually good and people slowly started tuning in throughout. I think it has a lot to do with that as well too. People getting on Twitter, social media, finding out that, hey, people are saying this is good. I should go watch it. And it was a win. It was a win, absolutely. Because now going in next year, you're going to be like, hey, this format is better and it works and it makes the game more competitive. So they changed the format this year. They've obviously been switching it around the last few years, since what, 2021, to try and see what sticks. So you had three American or two American teams. No, sorry. You had three teams, American versus European. They split it up like that. They went round robin. Obviously the top two go to the final based on either wins or point differential. And they were only 12-minute games, which I believe led to the increase in intensity, defense, and everything, because these short runs, guys can kind of do that. I do feel like it being a full, like, 48-minute game or whatever it was previously made people feel like, I mean, we don't have to get back this possession. It's fine if they get a bucket here or a wide open three, but with only 12-minute games, you can't let the team go on a 5-0 run. That could be, or 10-0 run. That could be the end of the game. So I think that really helped with the intensity. The guys were playing defense. It started with Wemby first and foremost, because guys were like, all right, well, if this guy is going to try and he's so tall and so big, like, it's going to make us look really bad if we don't try, because we're just going to get our shit blocked and we won't have any chance here. So I thought the intensity from him, Ant started feeding off of that. And honestly, just a lot of the younger guys, like Maxi and everybody, like, their effort was up, and it made the old guys, who you could tell kind of didn't really want to do that, it made them start playing harder. And thus we got two really awesome games out of it. Like, couple buzzer beaters. Anthony Edwards was going at people. He ended up winning MVP, and it just turned into a really good product. Unfortunately, the final game with the American old heads versus the young guys was kind of a blowout. So unfortunately, like the end of it, there was nothing to really watch. But the first two games were fantastic, back and forth, just crazy pace. It was nuts. I loved it. And so it was overall, just as far as a product wise, just really good for the league, and I hope we get to see that going forward as well too. It'll never be like a regular season game, but it was what you would expect and want out of an
I
all-star
thought it
game.
resembled a lot I
Todd,
thought it
I know you.
resembled a regular season game more than it has in the past, like, less half-court shots, less 40-footers, less, like, crazy, um, like, alley-oops and stuff like that, although there was still some highlights, it's not like, "Oh, we didn't get any of the fun stuff," there was still some of that, but, you saw real, defensive rotations and you saw real, like, oh, like, kick it out to the corner and stuff like that, there was it resembled a real basketball game, and, yeah, I think shortening the games and making them essentially 12-minute quarters made it so that it felt more like pickup, where the guys it felt 48 minutes, all of a sudden you have a team up by 25, guys are like, "Alright, whatever, well, we're not gonna win," versus if you shorten it and, "Oh, we lost last game, let's pick it up and try to win this game," it kinda makes it, more fun, I guess, for the players too, that's something that they said that they liked a lot. Um, I'd say, yeah, highlights, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, and Wemby, I think were the clear 3 guys that really showed out. Obviously, Kawhi as well. Kawhi really showed out as well. Having just probably the best Kawhi season we've had in 6 years, 7 years. I know it's an all-star
Long
game,
time.
but sheesh. He might make All NBA first team this year. People are saying he should be on the MVP ballot. He's been very, very good this year, so that's been cool to see. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to be more interested in it next year and see, with Luca and Steph Curry and some of the guys that didn't play this year, how they adapt to it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's only gonna be more of an influx of this younger talent who hopefully, like we said, takes the game more seriously. I mean, you never know. This could be the one it could be the last one we see like KD in, or some of these guys. I don't know if it'll be LeBron's last, but we'll see. Kawhi was unbelievable. We were so close to having a very awkward trophy presentation of Kawhi Leonard getting the All-Star Game MVP trophy. Right as what we're hearing is that this aspiration, punishment or revelation is going to come out fairly soon. So it could be, that he gets presented with the All-Star Game MVP, and then 2 weeks later he's getting like a suspension from the league because of cap circumvention. But I've I mean, if that would have happened, they should have just played into it and been like, Kawhi, instead of money for All-Star Game MVP, we're gonna plant a million trees in your name in in the LA County, and we're just gonna bring this full circle. But we'll see about that. Kawhi was unbelievable. At one point, had 31 of the team's 45 points, and that was in basically a quarter. So, like, that's getting towards Klay Thompson territory of like unconscious heater. It was unbelievable. And if the old heads, I forget if he was stripes or stars, if their team would have won, he would have been the MVP. It went to Ant, his first. Could be first of many for him just because of what he can do kinda on that stage, you know what I mean? So we'll see, but good for Ant. It's good to have Ant as an All-Star Game MVP because you get the media attention and the quotes, and this is a guy that we really need to be lifting up because he's very charismatic and he's good for the league, like, Ant will get casual people to watch
He hit some
basketball
big
more.
shots.
Him and Wemby. Yeah, him and Wemby will. Like, if Shea would have gotten MVP, like, great. Look, he's kinda like a Jalen Hurts, like, talks in, fortune teller quotes and is kinda quiet and doesn't have that much of a draw. He's Canadian. But Ant it's good for guys like Ant to win. But, yeah, overall, just a fantastic game, and you mentioned, Cade Cunningham. I should have done my intro as well too. 2 of the guys that got the intensity up from the beginning was the Detroit guys. I mean, as we've seen so far, their first half of the season, they're intense. They get the intensity up, um, and they propped up that level of play, in the All-Star game as well too. So props to them, for, just making it intense. Jalen Duren was all over the boards. When guys are fighting for boards, that's what's, like, awesome. Like, yes, that's gonna give the game more intensity. That's gonna just
Yeah,
help the
he
overall
committed a couple
product too.
fouls. That
Guys are
was
just
good to
fighting.
see.
We There was free throws. There was free throws in this game. Like, in years past, they would have, like, 1 guy shoot 2 because he, like, flopped at a guy, and we'd have Reggie Miller be like, "Holy crap, everybody, we're shooting free throws." No, like, it was happening
I will
frequently
say
in this
that I
game,
was
so
starting to get really
oh
annoyed with how much the announcers were, like, really pounding home, like, "Wow, they're
yeah,
really trying, like, everybody get your popcorn." It's like, okay, like, as somebody
probably sounds like me
right,
right
yeah, like,
now.
as somebody that watches, like yeah, I can tell that, like, the game is at a different level than, like, what it has been in the past, but, like, I don't need you to say it over and over and over again because it kind of makes it seem like basically, what you're admitting is, yeah, the game has been trash, which, like, the league has never fully like, Kevin Durant the whole week was defending, like, what they've been putting out on the floor over the last 10 years, and it's like he's like, "I don't know, I was watching the previous decades," and it's like, yeah, it was still kind of like, oh, it was an all-star game, so it wasn't, like, full balls to the walls, but that 4th quarter, like, they would, they would tighten it up and people would actually try, and it kinda mattered, like, if you were out on the court in the last 5 minutes of a close game of the All-Star game, that meant that you were probably one of the best 10, 13 players in the world, and, like, that was just how it was, so, it's kinda weird that they have to do the 3-team round robin. I find it is, like, hard to explain how one team wins or how somebody wins MVP or whatever, but at the end of the day, all we wanna see is, like, competitive basketball, and if all you told me was like, "Yeah, they're just playing pickup for an hour, and it's just or a couple hours, and it's just we're rolling the balls out there, and, oh, this 5 versus this 5," like, that's fun for me. Like, that's all I need to see is just, like, these guys, the best players in the world, playing pickup basketball, the greatest pickup game that can happen in the entire world. So, um, that's enough for me. I don't really need it to be super explainable in terms of the rules and how the teams are made up and all this stuff. It'd be nice if we could just do East and West and do it the traditional way, but obviously it wasn't good enough anymore. So, had to change it up. And obviously, the world versus United States. I think that might have been overplayed a little bit. Like again, I mean, Y Luka and Jokic don't really care. So, clearly, that's not really a thing. Wemby, obviously, it, like, mattered, but I think it could have been East versus West, and he would have felt the same way. He wants to prove that he's the best player. So, uh, pleasant surprise. I was texting you, you were like, "Oh, you gonna watch the game?" I was like, "Honestly, no, I'm not." Like, I'm not. I'm gonna be doing other shit, and then I ended up putting it on, and obviously watched the highlights of some of the earlier games. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. Very entertaining. And like I said, obviously with football gone and with the NBA not having any games recently, it was just it was a good change of pace.
Yeah, and honestly, I got kinda caught off guard by it too. I was over at my grandma's house, and, like, we turned the TV on, and I was oh, shit. God damn it. I gotta get some water real quick. Dude, I think I have asthma. It's like that randomly hits me sometimes, and I, like, can't talk. I don't know, but I guess I got water and it's better now, which probably would not be happening if I had actual asthma. But, no, it kinda caught me by surprise as well too, because I was over at my grandma's, and I just threw on some TV, And I was like, "Oh, yeah, the All-Star game's on right now." So I caught it, like, 5 minutes in. I was like, "Holy shit, these guys are trying." And then I was trying to explain it to them, and I was having a really hard time. I was like, "There's 3 teams? No, there's 4 teams and there's 3 teams? I'm not sure. They're all gonna play each other. They're talking about point differential. They'll go on to the final. We'll see what happens." I was, like, kinda learning as we went. I didn't study enough about it because I thought it was gonna suck and I wasn't gonna wanna watch it. But it was, like I said, a pleasant surprise. Uh, but yeah, trying to explain it to 2 people, especially 2 people that don't like my grandma and my uncle that don't watch the NBA, it was, trying to teach somebody Chinese. So, it was tough, but if they stick with this format, obviously we'll all get to learn it and it'll be better. So, yeah. Other storylines from the All-Star game, um, KD's
Oh,
burner,
yeah.
a lot of people are talking about. Yeah. So, some pretty disparaging tweets from an account. What was it? What was his count? The name of it is funny.
Something
KD
Dickinson.
burner.
Dickinson?
Um,
I don't know. Something like that.
yeah, get off my
Yeah.
Dickinson or something like that. Um, but yeah, it's got tweets going at Shingun and past teammates. Um, and I mean, it tweets like the person was in the locker room and knows some stuff. Obviously, nothing confirmed. He hasn't been like, "Yeah, oops, that was mine." But,
Didn't you compare Devin Booker and
KD's on
Vogel
Twitter
to
all the time.
fucking Mussolini and Hitler?
Yeah, which I mean, that's intense. Like, I'm not sure that he would do that. I don't know. Does that seem like something KD would say in a group chat? Oh, Todd has stopped recording. We're having technical difficulties here. So I'll filibuster. Um, so yeah, he's got all these tweets coming out, like Todd said, comparing to Mussolini. I'm gonna pull up some images here. Uh, he had, well, he's been caught on Twitter multiple times, tweeting from his actual account like it is a burner. So it's not hard to believe that he does have a burner out there. Um, and saying like he didn't like the Warriors or OKC. He was talking about like the organization and Billy Donovan back in his
Are we good? Wait, are we
OKC guys.
good?
Yeah, I've just
Can you
been
hear me?
filibustering. Yeah, I can hear
Okay,
you.
do you wanna just, like, reset this part like we're gonna do with the you need to get water? Just edit it out.
Yeah, sure,
Unless you
that's
don't
fine.
want to. Sorry, I kinda fucked that up.
No, it's fine. I handled it well, Todd. I say we just I say we just keep it rolling so I don't have to
Alright.
edit the video, and
Yeah,
people will understand. People will
alright.
understand.
I appreciate you,
Um,
listeners.
yeah, all 10 of you,
Yeah,
tell your
the
friends.
burner account is, like it borders on, like, maybe go talk to a therapist, dude. I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
you're I mean, and who knows? Maybe again, it's like a healthy way for him to get these thoughts out, but it's also like, why do you feel the need to like talk shit publicly, regardless of if you're putting your name on it or not, about like Sengun and Jabari Smith Jr. and Devin Booker? Devin Booker was nothing but a great teammate to you.
yeah, that one's crazy. I'm like, "Dude, you're the one that kinda went in there and fucked up the chemistry." Although that team had a lot of issues.
Or is it possible that it's somebody pretending to be Kevin Durant?
That's very easily an option, and obviously what he's going to say, but that's an option because he'll be like, "Look, dude, I'm an easy target for somebody to pretend they're me because everybody knows how online I am." I will say this though, the way he was on his phone, not looking concerned, he was on his phone looking concerned, walking around the court, just like a guy that whose burner had just been exposed. He made himself look very guilty. Like, he was looking like a guy that was trying to go through TSA with, some marijuana, okay? He looked guilty. So that's but it's KD, so maybe he's playing into it. Maybe he's like, "Let me go out there and look guilty for 10 minutes to get this shit stirred up." But it's not a great look, and it could Houston's already kinda having team that doesn't look like they like being around each other vibes, um, and this isn't gonna help. So this could actually throw a little bit of a, uh, wrench more than they're already because 'cause they're kinda already, like, falling off. This could really
Yeah,
hurt them going
I
forward.
gotta be honest with you. Tw 2019, looking at it from that point forward, I thought this guy was for sure gonna ultimately be a top 10 player ever. I think and right now he's number 12. I feel like I gotta push him back. Like, I have him ahead of Oscar Robertson, Jerry West, Akeem Olajuwon, Jokic, Havlicek. I think I would put him closer to, like, Dirk Nowitzki, Julius Erving at this point. I mean, he's damn near fallen back to number 20. Just the way that he's conducted the second half of his career, like, post Warriors, I don't I don't see how I can't take that into account. I was clearly projecting a little bit initially.
Mhm.
I like, he's right behind Shaquille O'Neal. I don't think there's a world in any world where anybody would say that he was a better player than Shaquille O'Neal or had a better career. It's not even about being a better player, it's about having a better career, and I don't think he's had a better career than Shaquille.
Well, no, I mean, Shaq was the most dominant player in the NBA for what, a solid 4 years, would you say? KD's never been the best player, like, hands down, unquestionable for more than a year, maybe 2, if you wanna talk 2018, 2019, but that's also, like, he was that way because he was playing without pressure because he was on the Warriors, and
Yeah.
maybe his
Also
MVP season.
Also, the amount of franchises he's played for, I know
That
it
hurts.
that it doesn't yeah, it shouldn't matter, but it does a little bit to me, like, even LeBron, he's played for 3, but it's, like, clear distinctions of, like, the 3 that he's played for versus, like and
Bouncing
there's
around.
y yeah, for with Durant, it's just kinda like, I mean, the Thunder, the Warriors, okay, but then the Nets, and then Phoenix, and now Houston, and it certainly seems like he's not gonna finish his career there. So,
It's not and it's so weird, it's the OKC 3. Like, Harden, Westbrook, and Durant, 3 all-timers that were on the same team together and now are just bouncing around because basically they got broken up when Presti moved off Harden, and then it was just Durant and Westbrook, and I think, obviously looking back, they would've, after a few of those Houston years, they were like, "Shit, probably should have been Harden that we held on to." Love Russ. Russ was fantastic, but it should have been Harden that they held on to. Um, and because Russ basically just got a statistical MVP. Harden was like potentially the most unstoppable offensive player in
yeah,
the league.
I would've given it to Harden in 2017 too. I think he deserved
Yeah,
it over Westbrook that year. Here, give
yeah.
me just tell me when to stop. Like, I'll run down these players, you tell me, just obviously without looking at anything, off the dome, who do you like, okay, so Hakeem Olajuwon or Durant? Better career.
I think Hakeem,
Nikola Jokic.
Jokic.
I would agree. Dirk Nowitzki.
This one's tough.
5
I
years ago,
mean,
no way would I would have said easily Durant. Now,
I think I think I'll go I think I'll still go Durant. I think I'll still go Durant.
Now Dirk does have over 30,000 points. He's also got the title, and he never left. This is the thing. The fact that he never left is kind of a chip in his
Yeah,
bag, where it's like,
yeah.
but I okay, that's fine. Julius Erving, you'd probably say Durant. Isaiah Thomas, the original Isaiah Thomas, probably say Durant. Giannis or Durant? Who had a better career so far?
I mean,
Probably Durant.
Giannis has another MVP. Durant has him beat by 1 ring, but it's like they're kinda those are discounted because it's like, you joined the 73 win Warriors, man. Like,
Well,
of
he's
course
also
you
made he's
won.
also made the finals 3 more times than him. I mean, he's been to the finals 4 times. He's won
Yeah.
2. Uh,
It's probably Durant, but then you gotta look at, like, oh, Giannis is on the Bucks. His second best player has been Drew Holiday in
I
his
could make
entire
a case
career.
though that all of these players did have had better careers than Durant, all the way until like Karl Malone at 25 is probably where I'd cut it off and say,
Yeah.
"No, Durant's better. He had a better career." But that's a
Sympathy
much
MVP.
that's a huge difference. Like I can make a case that Elgin Baylor and Moses Malone are better. I thought that
Like
this guy was gonna surpass Larry Bird or Tim Duncan as, like, maybe the 2nd greatest forward ever behind
yeah.
LeBron, and it
Like,
just
if he
didn't.
stays with the Nets if he stays with the Nets and the Nets work out and he gets a ring there, couple more Eastern Conference Finals appearances, he's only on 3 teams, then it's like, okay, we're talking top 10 easily.
The off the court stuff matters, and what's crazy is I actually had more sympathy for him before, like, the OKC stuff, it's like, "Man, Russ is tough to play with." Then you go to the Warriors and you just get shit on by everybody, and it's like, "Damn, like, no, like, I fucking love Durant. I think he's, like, one of the best players of all time, one of the best blah, blah, blah." And then you just see more and more just, like, no, I'll give him credit for this. He's unapologetically himself and does not let.
Doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. Like, LeBron is completely, like, everything is very curated. Durant's just winging it.
Uh,
But I don't know, man. It's just the way that I view him and the way the burner account stuff is weird.
yeah.
Clearly not a great teammate. I mean, if you're going online and you're saying that stuff about, like, players that you kinda need in order to continue to further your career, I don't know. The Phoenix thing, everywhere he goes, it just ends up messy. I mean,
Yeah,
literally everywhere. It's at a certain point, it's like, "Hey, man, you're kind of the common denominator here." Like, Oklahoma City ended messy. The Warriors ended messy. The Nets ended messy. Houston or Phoenix, messy. Now Houston. It's like, I don't know.
we all have those people in our life where, like, they just move job to job, and they're like, "I hated the manager there. My coworker had it out for me over there. I didn't like the hours over there." And I'm like, at the end of the day, at some point, even if you're good at what you do, it's you. It's why you're never gonna be Durant does seem like a type of guy that's never gonna be happy. I hope I would just love him for him to find basketball peace and ride out with somebody, but it's not gonna happen. It shoulda happened on the Warriors. He probably shoulda just stayed, but
Best 2 versions of his career are the Sonics don't leave, and he just
yeah,
stays in Seattle.
yeah,
And he maybe goes to Sam Presti and he says, "Look, we need to move Russell Westbrook or I'm leaving." Um, that if it still plays out the way that it did in Oklahoma City, that would have been like the best. So he stays in Seattle, or everything happens the same up until Golden State, and then he just stays in Golden State and lets people talk shit about everything. And it's like, look, oh, Clay and Steph are out for the season, and I'm out for the season. They come back, they win another one. They probably are even still really good now. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Like, I feel like he should have just stayed. He would have ended up belonging to the Warriors. Instead, those fans are like, "Nah."
Thanks.
Yeah, like, it's just he
Con
has no home, and it's sad.
Yeah, kinda how the Lakers feel about LeBron. Like, some of those Kobe stands are just like, "Thanks for the ring, man. Thanks for relevance again, but you're not ours. Our guy was Kobe."
Which is fucked up because they were so bad for like,
Irrelevant.
literally without
Irrelevant.
LeBron, I'm
Yeah,
are you even you might be in a really bad spot,
yeah.
you know?
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, I
We
guess we'll
got
talk
into
Charlotte now.
KD there for a bit. The only other things I wanted to say was bad dunk contest, bring back Mac McClung, and then Dame won the 3-point contest, which was kinda cool to see him out there shooting,
I don't think
even though he
Mac
hasn't played.
McClung wants to do it anymore.
No, I know, but, like, still, just it's because some of the players were like, "Whatever, fuck this guy, he's not even actually in the league." And some of the guys were actually, like, mad about it, and it was like, "Okay, then you
Then
do it. You
fucking you
join."
do it then.
Yeah.
What? That's
Did you
insane.
s did you see the dunks he was going to do? That video? It was he would've won. They looked sick. Yeah, but anyway, moving on, good All-Star weekend.
Let's talk some Musa Diabate.
Adam Silver saved his bacon for a little while longer on everybody being on his ass. Yeah, Pistons-Hornets, pretty good fight, honestly. Like, a lot of them are just kinda in each other's face and shoving and whatever. This was good. There was a couple swings. Pistons have been in a few good ones this year. They're, kind of bad boy Pistons 2.0, and they're really good, so, like, that makes it cooler as well too. Like,
Well,
not only are
3.0
they gonna
if you count Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace.
Yeah, that's honestly, yeah, that's true.
They were fucking
3.0.
assholes too.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't know. Nobody likes to fight like Beef Stew does. That's the only University of Washington athlete that I'm like, "You know what? I rock with that guy. He's cool." But the Pistons have been in a few good ones this year. Obviously started with Jalen Duren and Moose Diabate. Apparently, their beef goes back to AAU ball. I saw some clips of, like, them beefing at each other, like, in some random gym, like, going at each other. So that's kinda cool. I really hope this, like, they start a rivalry 'cause Moose has been playing well, and Jalen Duren looks like he's a star now. So if they get a rivalry going and these 2 teams get a rivalry going in the East, that'd be good for basketball. Um, then, of course, Miles Bridges got in on it because we know he likes hitting. And then Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart got involved. He wasn't even playing. He was on the bench. And it got a little bit out of control there for a bit. Uh, he, 2 guys that just love getting in any fight. But yeah, your common your common suspects were all involved, and it was cool. It almost got into the stands for a bit. We almost had a Malice in the Palace, and that would have been actually devastating for Detroit and for the Hornets a little bit too, because it would have been exactly like an Indiana situation back in the day where, like, yeah, this team legit could have made the finals or won the finals, and, if that goes into the crowd, like, Isaiah Stewart and, like, Jalen Duren potentially, are out for, like, 40 games, and their season's fucked. So, good thing to get it slightly under control. Stewart got 7 games, Duren 2, Bridges 4, and Diabate 4. Obviously, Stewart got the most because prior convictions. Like I said, likely suspect. But yeah, I thought it was entertaining. It's gonna be a little bit of a blow for Detroit, but they won their next game after that. But I like it, and I hope we get a rivalry going forward with these 2 teams because they could meet 1-8 in that first round.
Yeah, they got I mean, I don't know if you wanna call it lucky, but if Jalen Duren he was trying to disengage like, he did try and settle it down. He didn't continue to, like I mean, it was Diabate and Beef Stew who were the clear, like,
Yeah.
losing their fucking minds.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Bridges kinda instigated it a little bit farther too. Obviously, Duren started it, so you have to give him a suspension, but that would've been the real bad thing for Detroit is if he had gotten, suspended for a long time. I was texting you after this. I feel like every team should just get one. You just make it part of the game, almost like hockey, where it's like, look, once a season, you get to do craziness and fight and but if it goes into the stands, then there's severe penalties. But I think that's probably why they've really cut back. I mean, obviously, it's why they've basically banished it from the sport, is because, like, yeah, hockey, they're protected by the glass. Fucking baseball, they're out in the middle of the field. You're very far away from wherever the fight is. In football, there's entire sidelines of players like protecting the fans from the
And a
middle of the field.
wall.
Right. Yeah, there's a wall. With the NBA, it's like you're right. You might get hit in the face if you're, I mean, if you're a woman front row, watch out for Miles Bridges because he's coming, So it's it is
Well,
understandable
unless you
that they don't
marry
want
him.
it's understandable that they don't want that. Obviously, whatever kids imitate players, as we've seen with like the celebrations and even style of play with three-pointers and stuff. So can't really do that. But I mean, I don't know. All I know is that this was the biggest Hornets moment in 30 years. I mean, legitimately, and they're fun. They're I think they're 24 and 15, or excuse me, they're 21 and 15. That's basically half a season. No, they're
They're good
legitimate.
ball.
Yeah, they're a legitimate East team. I could see them maybe not as good as Detroit is this year, but next year being like the leap, kind of like the leap that Detroit took, where it's like, no, this is a legitimate team. Um, what's crazy is if for some reason they don't end up making playoffs and they lose in the play-in, and they have lottery odds, and then they end up with like a San Antonio where they go up into that top four. That
Yeah.
would actually be really good for the league because then you're having a team like Charlotte. And that's kind of where I'm at with the lottery and tanking at this point. I'm kind of like, look, no, give teams that are on the cusp a really good player to get them to another level instead of
Yeah.
just banishing like really high end players to like shitty franchises. Like I don't want fucking this kid from Kansas to go to Brooklyn. I don't. I would way rather him go to Milwaukee. Milwaukee got so lucky. God, they're so lucky that the Pelicans are this bad. Because Atlanta gets the better of their two picks, whether it's the Milwaukee pick or Pelicans. So Milwaukee could just tank, and even if, you know, they win the lottery, Atlanta takes their pick. Oh, well, Pelicans finished 5th. Well, they get the Pelicans pick then. So very lucky for them. I know I'm getting off topic now, but it's just fun to see the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, this is like a legitimate moment for them. Obviously, Knickel, LaMelo seems to have gotten his shit together. Bridges, Diabate, Kalkbrenner. I mean, and they have good coaching. Brandon Miller, forgot to mention him. Obviously, he's taken a big step this year. So, I'd like to see them keep doing that. And prayers prayers to get to 1-8 matchup in the playoffs for these two franchises this year, because that would be fun.
Yeah. We need this as the 1-8. This would be a great matchup. And honestly, could be like, one of the more competitive 1-8 matchups we've seen if they're able to get in there because they're legitimately probably should be a 6 seed team if they didn't start so badly. So, like, they could actually give Detroit, who doesn't have that much playoff experience, an actual run for their money, even though Detroit is very good. Um, yeah, they've made some great picks. Uh, and like I said, Diabate has been playing really well for them as well. And the con pick is just phenomenal. Like that's a franchise changing pick right there. Um, especially when you're not drafting like 1 or 2. Like, to get a guy like that a little bit later, is just a great job by them, and like you said, the coaching matters too. The coach gets physical. Like, he gets in there and beefs and whatnot as well too. Like, he's a little Missoula-y, as far as kinda, like, a little bit off his rocker. So I like what they got going on there. Crazy how as soon as MJ was gone, like, they actually start turning into a pretty well-ran machine. Although, hey, MJ got his Daytona 500 trophy yesterday, so everybody's winning. It was a everybody won the breakup. But no, it's good to see the Hornets. I mean, they've just been down for so long. And like I said, Khan kind of made everybody get serious in that organization. Like LaMelo and Brandon Miller is basically like I think they saw him and how good he can be and was like, "Oh, okay, well, they'll just build around him if we don't get our shit together, and we'll be just shipped off if we can't play with this guy." So yeah, a rising tide lifts all boats, as they say, Todd. And I'm on the SS Con. All right.
Would've been a good
Uh,
place for Chris Paul.
yeah, he should have just finished. He should have gone over there and finished it out.
What a sad ending.
Yeah. So great transition, Todd. I love you. CP3 calls it quits. They traded him to Toronto, and then Toronto just waived him. And so it was over. And one of the best point guards of all time made every team he was on significantly better. Um, I mean, there's those statistics about literally every first year he went to a team, their winning percentage uh, rose significantly, or at least a little bit, as far as like that OKC year, but completely changed the narrative around the Clippers as far as just the complete laughing stock punching bag of the NBA to one of the most exciting teams we've ever had, the Lob City Clippers. Um, he had, New Orleans going good for a little bit, was right in that 2008 MVP race. People forget about that. Um, and then obviously those Houston years, man, like those 2 Houston years, that people forget how fucking good those Houston teams were. I mean, couple games away from legit or a couple injuries away from legit being like 70 win teams. Like they were unbelievable. The only team that could really fuck with uh the height of the Warriors. And then finally he never got a ring. He'll be up there with the guys that, your Stockton and Malones, your Barkleys, all the guys that never quite got there, AI, but at least he did go to Phoenix and get the experience of he did make a final, won a couple games there. So at least he made it to one, and that was, I guess, kind of his crowning achievement on after a long career. But just a great floor general. I think when we get past his retirement for a couple years here, we're gonna look back at kind of the stats and teams he was on and be like, man, this is just an all time guy.
Yeah, weirdly, a lot of the best point guards ever don't have rings when you look at, like, Steve Nash.
Yeah.
Well, I guess fuck. Well, Gary Payton and Jason Kidd did, but that was at the back end. That was at, like, the way, way end. It'd be
Yeah, but that
like it
wasn't Gary Payton.
Right, it'd be
Yeah.
like if first Chris Paul was on the Spurs right now and, like, was barely playing and was just like you know what I mean? It's just not the same, but anyway, bad example. Steve Nash, um, would be an
AI.
example, but yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't
But
really
he was
consider him a point guard.
yeah,
Um, but
small guys.
I have Chris Paul as, like, probably the 7th best point guard of all time. I've got Steve Nash, Jason Kidd ahead of him, Isaiah Thomas, and then obviously, Steph Curry and then Magic Johnson ahead of him as well.
Yeah,
Um,
that seems
you
about
know,
right.
obviously, Hall of Fame player, one of the best of his era, and, you know, not much to say. Definitely a little asshole. Great defensive player for the fact that he was as small as he was to be able to, like, control a game as well as he controlled a game. Uh, definitely needed to be on the right team. It needed to be kinda, like, on his
Yeah,
terms. Um, that's why I'm surprised that those Houston teams worked as well as they did, to be honest. Like, the fact that he was willing to kinda play without the ball in his hands as much as he was with James Harden kinda taking the load, in Houston, and then whenever Harden would be off the floor, he would have the ball in his hands, but yeah, an interesting career. Obviously moved around a lot, not sure I guess he's a Clipper. You know, people will think of him as a
Yeah, he's a
Clipper.
Clipper. He's a Clipper. He'll probably
But I
go in
mean,
as
really, he played there for, like, 6 seasons or something like that. I guess if you count this one, maybe 7. Uh, yeah, weird career. Feels like anybody drafted to New Orleans is kinda destined to maybe have not maybe the perfect career. You know, when you think about, like, oh, when you look at, like, somebody like Steph Curry or Dirk or even, like, a Tatum and Brown who's, like, you know, as lucky as we are, they're pretty lucky to have gotten an organization like that instead of being like Brandon Ingram, and now you've been traded 4 times, you know? So, yeah, sad that he had to go out like this. I mean, apparently, he was kinda untenable. That was part of the reason that he didn't end up getting picked up by anybody else either is 'cause the Clippers were like, "I'm not sure you want him on in your locker room. He's gonna make sure that everyone knows that he's there," and, you know, it's kinda like LeBron where it's like, "Hey, man, like, you might need to take a back seat," and I'm not sure these guys are really willing to do that, so, is what it is.
yeah, that's the vibe I got because obviously I think the Clippers probably wanted him to go out with the organization and wrap it all up and, you know, maybe make the second round or Western Conference Finals and, you know, retire his jersey and everything like that. But yeah, it ends up arguably the worst retirement tour ever, um, released by the team that you were the best to ever play for them, then not picked up by anybody, just retires mid-year. It's tough. It's a tough way to go out. Except for
Well,
the
that's what
only
happens
one
when you
that I
hang
was
on to your 41.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it should have been done. It should have been that Spurs year was should have just been like, "We're bad. I'm pretty bad. We're done." Like, but he just didn't want to. And but well, the Elgin Baylor one might be worse because he obviously retired and then they won like 30, finished the season on a hot streak and then won the title. I guess he did get I don't even know. Did guys back then still get a ring if they played for the team that season at all? So I guess he did get a ring,
I
but he
don't
didn't play. He obviously didn't play. So I don't know. But I mean, one thing I do want to bring up is the perfect game. In game 6 of the 2022 Western Conference first round against the New Orleans Pelicans. Just kind of an unbelievable performance. Sorry if you can hear Riley pissing in the background right now. Hopefully that edits out. But that was one of the most unbelievable games I've watched. 14 for 14 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, 33 points, 8 assists. Clinical. It was the perfect culmination of like his career and one of the best playoff games I think I've ever seen, even though it was against the Pelicans and in the first
That
round.
was Phoenix,
Yeah, that was Phoenix 2022 when he
round
went to
1
the finals.
against New Orleans. Well, so what? That was, like, Zion and who else was on that New Orleans?
Um, let's see. I mean, Alvarado. I forgot that they actually made the finals, or not made the finals. They actually made the playoffs that year. Pelicans 2022 roster. Zion. They had Herb Jones, Trey Murphy. They had all the guys that could have been good. 42 and 40. Jose Alvarado. They had Dyson Daniels, Jackson Hayes, Willie Hernan Gomez,
Interesting. Yeah,
General Matt,
I forget some
Willie
of those
Gomez,
play-in years for the Pelicans. That
Dyson
was
Jackson
back when it was
Hayes.
like, dude, they have the Lakers picks. Like,
Yeah.
dude, they might be fucking scary, and then just
Dude, they
no.
fucked this up. Jose Alvarado, Dyson Daniels, Jackson Hayes, Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, Larry Nance, Jonas Valanciunas, and Zion. Fuck. And now they don't have a pick and they have Patrick Queen and none of those guys. Oh my god, dude. It's just bad asset management.
There. Yeah.
But yeah, tough way to go out. But
Is Chris Paul the greatest New Orleans player of all
yeah,
time?
Yeah, it's
So, he's
either
the greatest Clipper and the greatest Hornet/Pelican in New Orleans.
yeah, I mean, it's either that or Anthony Davis. Take your pick.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess they
I mean, they
both
did have that
for
first
the
round
same
with
amount of
Anthony
time, and they
Davis
both kinda had
where they beat Portland.
yeah, yeah,
Toss-up,
interesting.
pick your poison,
It's
really.
not Zion.
It's not it's not Zion. Um, Trying to think who else. That's yeah, it's pretty much that. That's it. But other than that, you know who's coming back soon.
JT.
One one guy goes, another guy's coming back. JT. Starting 5-on-5 in Maine, practicing. Do you think he should come back early March, or do you think they're
I think he should do whatever he wants. I think if he's ready to come back, then come back. I do not want the team to be like, "Hey, you need to come back," or I want him to be if he's ready and he wants to play and he wants to I don't see why you wouldn't, because then it just eats into next season. It's like, great, so he's not really ready to go until what, like December of next year because he's gotta get his reps in. So let him get his reps in now. I'm not really worried about a playoff run. It's all gravy, you know?
yeah.
Um, and to be honest with you, I don't really want him playing, like, full games in the playoffs. Like, he does not need to be playing
Yeah, that's intense.
yeah, like, he needs to be playing, like, role player minutes in the playoffs, and you have to kinda tell him, "Hey, you can't play that much." But you can't prevent him from not playing, if that makes sense, so I want him to do now, if he decides he doesn't wanna play this year, that would concern me a little bit. It would kind of be in the same vein as, like, Kawhi or, like, fucking Derrick Rose, where I'm like, you know, it makes me kinda nervous. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you not gonna be healthy now, or are you but, again, you have to let him it's mental. At this point, he seems like his ankle is healed, quote, unquote, like, healed. He can play. It's just a matter of how much of a load can you put on it right away before he builds it back up, and where is he at mentally, you know?
Well, I'll tell you what, for my goat, he can put as big of a load on it as he wants.
Okay.
But, no,
Where?
I'm
Your
talking
face
basketball here, Todd.
or your feet, or where are we talking?
What'd you say?
I said, "Where? Your face or your feet, or where are we talking?"
Just on the Achilles. Just on the Achilles, preferably. That's my thing. But no, I think he should come back and hopefully get some good run. Look good, feel good, and can just be a nice role player for them in the playoffs. I do get a little bit concerned with him and JB sharing the ball, but hopefully Missoula's like, hey, look, man, you are a complimentary player this year. Next year, if you look like JT, then it's back to being yours. But right now, you got to play team ball. So hopefully that doesn't become an issue. But
I
for
don't
two
think it
guys, I don't think it will. And Todd, you know what? We play good team ball, passing the rock back and forth on the mic, and that's why I think this was a good podcast. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Um, Please, please, please check out the YouTube, even if you just click on it and get a play out of it. Like it, subscribe it, tell your friends, follow us on X, the Fast Break with DA. Let's see, what else? Don't have an Instagram page. Maybe we'll do that soon. Um, but yeah, thank you guys so much. Run it up, like, subscribe, and thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back at you either late next week or late this week or early next week. So bye bye. Good job, Todd.
yeah, good job by you, bud. Love you guys.